Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're tackling a question that is probably on a lot of your minds. Is SERV Robotics a good time to buy right now? We know many of you are really curious about these innovative companies, the ones pushing the boundaries, especially in, fast-growing areas like autonomous delivery. You want the full picture quickly, clearly. You're trying to figure out how to weigh this, groundbreaking tech against the tough financial realities that often come with building something totally new. So to help you unpack all this, we've pulled together some analysis from a recent stock report on SERV Robotics, and we've taken a close look at its recent catalysts and what the future might hold. Our goal today is pretty simple: cut through the noise, give you the most important information, and help you get well informed on SERV Robotics so you can make your own considerations. Before we jump in, just a quick ask. If you find this valuable, please hit subscribe, like the episode, maybe leave a comment. And hey, if there's a specific company you want us to look into next time, just drop its name in the comments below. We do read those. Okay, SERV Robotics. It's a name we're hearing a lot in the autonomous delivery space. You've probably seen pictures of their little robots. But for you, the investor tracking innovation, let's cut to the chase. What makes them different? What's their core tech or market approach that sets them apart in this crowded field?
Yeah, what's interesting about SERV Robotics is their sharp focus, specifically on that last-mile autonomous delivery sector. We're talking about those, pretty distinct-looking self-driving robots bringing food, maybe other small goods, right to your doorstep. They're not just building robots, though. They're really trying to solve one of the trickiest and, frankly, most expensive problems in urban logistics. That's that final step, getting something from a local hub to the actual destination. It seems small, but it's a huge potential market.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that a bit. So beyond just, hey, cool, a robot on the sidewalk, what's the fundamental value here? Why is this sector so important, and why should an investor care beyond the novelty factor?
Well, the core promise is really about efficiency and, crucially, scale for logistics in dense urban areas. Their business isn't just the hardware, the robot itself. It's the integration, the plugging into these massive existing delivery platforms. Think Uber Eats. And this isn't just some small pilot program for Uber, it's a pivotal deployment partnership. That integration is, I think, a key differentiator. They're moving beyond just trials to actual sustained network coverage in certain areas. That's vital in a space that's, let's face it, really competitive and eats up a lot of capital. They're aiming to solve a real pain point for businesses struggling with delivery costs and labor.
Okay, so speaking of costs and capital, when we look at the numbers, you see some, well, frankly, eye-popping growth figures. Their revenue in 2024 reported at $6.9 million. That's a huge jump from $1.3 million in 2023, like nearly 6 times higher in just 1 year. This sounds amazing, right? But knowing how thin margins can be in delivery and how much it costs to scale robotics, my first thought isn't fantastic. It's more like, okay, but at what cost?
You've hit the nail on the head there. That revenue growth does reflect substantial expansion year over year. That's definitely a positive sign for a company in its early stages. However, and this is a big however, you absolutely have to look beyond that top-line number. SERV Robotics reported a negative gross margin. We're talking approximately negative 77% for 2024. Now, that's not entirely out of the blue for a company scaling up this aggressively in a brand new industry. It reflects massive scale-up costs, early deployment expenses, building the fleet, the infrastructure. But a negative gross margin fundamentally means they're losing money on every single delivery they make right now.
Wow, negative 77%. So losing money on every delivery. Expert, in your experience with companies like this, what's the typical path or maybe the critical point where they flip that? And how does SERV's strategy seem to position them for that? Does it help or hinder?
That inflection point it usually comes when they hit significant economies of scale. Basically, the cost per delivery has to drop sharply as their fleet gets bigger and operates more densely in specific areas. It also hinges on the technology getting better, needing less human help. SERV is clearly pushing hard on expansion to get that scale. But the current strategy means very heavy investment now, which pushes profitability further out. Management has sort of indicated they're aiming for positive gross margin, maybe, within the next 24 to 36 months, which, feels like quite a long time in the tech world.
And what about the bottom line overall profitability? Are they getting any closer, or is those expansion costs just digging a deeper hole for now?
Unfortunately, not yet. The net loss reported for 2024 was $22.9 million. That's a pretty big increase from the $8.2 million loss in 2023. It reflects higher spending across the board: R&D, sales, general admin costs, all necessary investments if you want to scale an autonomous delivery network, but still, it adds up. So no current profitability, and they haven't given any timeline for breaking even soon.
So, okay, putting this all together, What does it mean for their financial health today? Do they actually have enough cash on hand to keep the lights on, keep building while they're losing this much money?
Right, that's the crucial question. As of the end of 2024, December 31st, SERV Robotics had $16.2 million in cash and equivalents. A positive point is they reported no long-term debt. That gives them a bit more breathing room. However, their operating cash flow for 2024 was negative $19.4 million. That's consistent with them pouring money into building the fleet, R&D, getting commercial operations going. At that burn rate, their current cash gives them a runway of, let's say, roughly 9 to 12 months, assuming nothing changes and they don't raise more money.
9 to 12 months.
Yeah, which naturally raises the question about needing more capital soon. And that likely means potential dilution for current shareholders. They had around 61.6 million shares out as of September 2025. Any new funding round probably involves issuing more shares, meaning each existing share represents a smaller piece of the company. And, importantly, their latest 10K filing actually includes language about going concern uncertainties.
Going concern. Okay, Sexpert, that phrase always makes investors nervous. Can you just quickly explain why that's such a significant red flag? And what about SERV situations specifically triggers that warning?
Absolutely. A going concern warning, it comes from the company's auditors. It basically means there's substantial doubt, their words about the company's ability to stay in business for at least the next year. For SERV, it comes directly from what we just discussed. Those ongoing losses, the high cash burn rate, and no clear immediate path to generating enough cash internally to fund itself. It's the auditor saying, look, the idea might be sound, but the financial runway is getting short, and they need more money to keep operating. It's a serious signal that future financing isn't just desirable, it's critical, and it's not guaranteed.
Okay, so the balance sheet definitely gives us pause. And that cash burn is a clear challenge. But here's where things get, well, interesting. Despite those financials, SERV Robotics has been incredibly busy, moving really fast on the strategic side. It almost feels like they're trying to innovate their way out of the cash crunch. What are the key operational moves, the headlines we really need to know about that could maybe change their path?
Yeah, beyond the financials, the pace of their tech and operational progress is actually quite remarkable, especially given those money pressures. It suggests they're really pushing to solidify their position and advance the technology quickly.
Let's look at July 2025 then. What specifically happened in July that could have really moved the needle for them, maybe on the tech side or expanding their reach?
July was a big month. They completed the acquisition of Robotics. That was significant because it brought in more advanced AI, specifically around foundation models, for their autonomy system, basically making the robots smarter. They also added Vinod Khosla, a very prominent tech investor, to their advisory board. That adds a lot of credibility and strategic insight. And operationally, they added 123rd-gen robots to the fleet, launched operations in Atlanta, and even started a pilot program way out in Doha, the Middle East. So definitely signaling global ambitions there.
Right, so July sounds like a whirlwind. Strategic acquisitions, key advisor, geographic expansion. Did August see them sort of build on that, or did they tackle different things?
August brought their Q2 financial results, reported early in the month. Still a net loss, as expected, but revenue was $642,000. That was up 46% from the previous quarter. And maybe more telling, delivery volume grew 78%. So while it's still small scale overall, it shows they are gaining traction operationally, proving the model works on a micro level. Also importantly, they secured a partnership with Little Caesars, a big name in fast food. And they expanded their Uber Eats integration across more key cities like LA, Miami, Dallas, and Atlanta, deepening that crucial relationship.
Okay, and then most recently, September. What were the big announcements there? Anything that could potentially streamline things or maybe even help with those costs we talked about?
Yes. In September, SERV announced it was acquiring assets from Phantom Auto and also acquiring a company called Voices AB. This move is really all about improving their teleoperation with remote human oversight. Specifically, getting ultra-low latency video streaming and control for the fleet. Now, why is that important? It's crucial for scaling up in complex city environments. It allows human operators, when needed, to very quickly and reliably guide a robot if it gets stuck or encounters something unexpected. Integrating the Voices tech should improve the connection quality, potentially lower the infrastructure costs associated with teleoperation, and it sets them up better for expanding service globally. It's a foundational piece for making wider deployment more reliable and efficient.
So buying phantom auto assets and voices to boost teleoperation. Now, expert, I've seen some takes suggesting teleoperation, while maybe necessary now, kind of adds back a human cost that full autonomy is meant to eliminate. How does this acquisition actually move? Serve closer to true autonomy and profitability rather than just, shifting the cost around.
That's a really good point, and it's a fair question. You're right, teleoperation isn't full autonomy. It absolutely involves a human in the loop. However, the way SERV likely views it, and how the industry often sees it right now, is as a crucial enabler for achieving scalable autonomy today. It allows them to deploy robots in messy, real-world urban settings where purely AI-driven systems might still struggle sometimes, preventing robots from just stopping or failing, which is expensive. By making teleoperation more efficient, that's the key here. With the low latency, better video, they can have one remote operator effectively supervise many more robots. That significantly lowers the human cost per delivery. So it's about getting a high degree of autonomy deployed now, safely, with a reliable human backup for the tricky bits. This helps them achieve the scale, the density that's ultimately needed to drive down costs and reach profitability. It's a pragmatic step on the path.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a bridge technology, essentially. All right, looking ahead then, what should you, our listener, be watching for with SERV Robotics over the next few months? Any specific events or milestones coming up?
Yeah, there are several potential catalysts, things to keep an eye on. First, there's an anticipated ETF rebalancing around October 15th. There's a chance they could be included in a robotics-focused ETF. That would increase visibility, maybe liquidity for the stock. Then November 1st is when the institutional buying window typically opens after an IPO lockup period, so we might see larger funds starting to take positions, potentially changing the shareholder base. Also, watch for the Thanksgiving holiday performance report, likely around November 27th. That'll be a key test. Can their network handle peak delivery demand? It's critical data on their real-world volume capabilities.
And earnings, of course. Always a big one.
Absolutely. The Q3 2025 earnings announcement is expected around December 12th. That should give us the latest on fleet growth, revenue trajectory, how that scaling is actually progressing quarter over quarter. And finally, look for some kind of end-of-year fleet deployment update, probably around December 31st. They have a stated target of 2,000 robots deployed. This will show how close they got, demonstrating their execution ability. These are all concrete things that could definitely move the stock.
Okay, so those are the knowns. What about the unknowns? Any whispers, any rumors floating around the industry about SERV that people are paying attention to? These could be big signals for future growth.
Indeed, there's always chatter in this space. One persistent speculation is about a potential partnership with a major U.S. grocery chain. Think about autonomous grocery delivery pilots. That would open up a massive new market segment for them beyond just restaurant food. There are also rumors about more concrete international expansion, maybe into Europe, perhaps leveraging those new voices connections we talked about for better overseas operations. Some industry observers also suspect an automotive OEM, a car manufacturer, might be eyeing an equity stake. That could bring in significant capital, maybe help with manufacturing, and offer strategic partnership, potentially easing that cash burn worry. And there's also some talk about maybe seeing their next-gen AI autonomy introduced earlier than planned, perhaps even in Q4. If they could significantly lower delivery costs sooner, that would be a major catalyst towards profitability.
Interesting stuff. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to the stock itself. What are the charts saying? What do the technical indicators tell us about SERV Robotics' recent performance and where it might be heading short-term?
Well, the stock's been on a pretty volatile uptrend since August. Over the last month, it's traded in a range roughly between $8.25 and $12, and closed recently around $11.40. Currently, the price is above its 20-day simple moving average, which sits around $10.15. That usually suggests some short-term bullish momentum. However, the 14-day Relative Strength Index, or RSI, is at 63. That's getting close to what traders consider overbought territory. Above 70 is usually the threshold, so it might suggest it's due for a pullback or consolidation soon. And while the MPIC indicator showed a bullish signal back in early September, that momentum seems to be slowing down a bit now. So technically, it's a bit of a mixed picture, recent strength, but maybe getting a little stretched short-term.
Got it. And what about insider activity? Are the executives, the people closest to the company, buying or selling shares? What does that tell us, if anything?
Yeah, that's always worth looking at. It can offer a glimpse behind the curtain. We have seen some notable insider selling reported recently in September 2025. For instance, the CFO, Brian Reed, sold about 4,300 shares, around $11.54. The Chief Hardware Manufacturing Officer, Abraham Yakilin, sold over 12,600 shares, around $10.60. Now, it's important to note these sales were reported as being largely to cover tax withholding obligations related to restricted stock units, or RSUs. That's common executives get shares as compensation, and they often have to sell some to pay the income tax when those shares vest. Relative to their total holdings in a small-cap company, these specific sales might not be alarming on their own, but at the end of the day, it is selling activity, not buying. We haven't seen significant insider buying recently. Also worth noting, there's currently no institutional analyst coverage, no big banks writing research reports. That means less formal scrutiny, which can contribute to higher volatility. On social media, places like microcap investor forums, the sentiment seems moderately positive lately, mostly fueled by that recent partnership news.
But, you have to take that kind of sentiment with a grain of salt. It can be very speculative.
Okay, so we've talked about the exciting innovation, the potential, the partnerships. It all sounds cutting edge. But let's bring it back down to earth. With all this buzz and rapid growth, what are the really big risks? What does our listener absolutely need to be aware of before getting swept up in the vision?
Right, the risks are significant and need to be front and center. The primary stock-specific risks. Well, first, the ongoing losses and the clear need for more cash. This points directly to the risk of future dilution for shareholders, your ownership stake getting smaller. And as we discussed, that going concern language in their filings is a major red flag about their financial runway. Then there's the industry itself. Autonomous delivery is still very new. There's uncertainty about how quickly customers will adopt it, major regulatory hurdles that can pop up differently in every city or state, operational challenges like weather or vandalism, and the technology is changing so fast that today's leader could be tomorrow's laggard. Furthermore, SERV Robotics has what we call concentration risk. They seem heavily dependent on just a few key delivery partners, like Uber Eats. If anything happened to those major contracts, it would have a huge impact. And don't forget broader market risks. The whole robotics and logistics sector is fiercely competitive and requires enormous amounts of capital just to stay in the game. Plus, as a microcap tech stock, SERV Robotics is inherently prone to high volatility.
The price can swing wildly. It can also suffer from illiquidity, meaning it might be hard to buy or sell shares quickly without moving the price significantly. And it's very susceptible to sharp moves based on news, rumors, or just speculation. Especially with a relatively small number of shares available for trading, what we call a low float can be a very bumpy ride.
A potentially wild ride indeed.
So, yeah, if we tie this all together, looking at the whole picture, our overall assessment for SERV Robotics based on the analysis comes out to a 2 out of 10 rating. That signifies a high-risk, highly speculative microcap stock. Yes, it shows impressive revenue growth and some genuinely promising partnerships. But it's weighed down by those persistently negative margins, both gross and net significant ongoing cash burn, and frankly, an unproven path to actually making money. So for you, the listener, what this means is SERV Robotics probably isn't suitable for a typical long-term investment portfolio based on its current fundamentals. It really falls into that category of a high-risk, maybe short-term trading vehicle. Suitable only if you're very comfortable with microcap volatility and understand there's a real potential for total loss.
It really does highlight that core tension, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this genuinely groundbreaking innovation, a clear, exciting vision for how delivery could work in the future, revolutionizing logistics. But on the other side, you have these stark financial realities, the significant risks that just come with trying to build something entirely new in a nascent industry. So as you think about SERV Robotics, the question isn't just if their robots can successfully deliver a pizza. It's more about when or even if they can deliver sustainable profits. Can that sprint of innovation truly outpace the cash burn? Will they get acquired by a bigger player? Will they manage to become a leader in autonomous logistics? Or could they end up as just a fascinating example of potential that didn't quite pan out financially? That's really the complex question for your own careful consideration. Thank you for joining us on Investing Talk podcast. We hope this exploration into SERV Robotics has given you some valuable insights to think about.